97.3. Come on. Let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's succeed, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umar Rusanda Amadu. And tonight I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Hajia Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Welcome back from Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Sandra.
May God grant your prayers.
Amen.
You touched the Blackstone, you prayed near the Kaaba.
Amen. Yes.
May you get the blessings. And all those you prayed for, may their prayers be answered too.
Amen.
This is Eyewitness News broadcasting from number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. Coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Messi Afris 1957. Bakanya, Mofamo Kwame Krubano, Mofamo Obia, the Wabadi Mampania, Wabogana Hubai, and the Ghana Kolanim, China Nadu Dankwa, Akufuado.
The words that were spoken by an excited Matthew Opoku Prempeh, aka Napo, that has got a barrage of verbal attacks coming his way few minutes into his unveiling in Kumasi yesterday. But the MPP running mate is sticking to his views on the comparison between Akufo-Addo and Nkrumah. Also coming up, striking civil and local government workers refuse to meet National Labour Commission as government services continue to suffer. And later, on Eyewitness News, controversy around the 2024 elections thickens as minority and majority sides of Parliament clash on the recruitment into security services. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Rate of inflation continues to slow as figure drops marginally to 22.8%.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Western region on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM, all of them in Takoradi. In Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In Ahafo region, we are on Hammers 106.5 FM in Goso. In Ashanti region, we are on Orange 107.9, the Kumasi City Mall in Kumasi. And big ups to the team at Orange FM for the splendid and great support they gave to Eyewitness News team on Monday as we brought you the broadcast of the unveiling of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh in Kumasi, partner station that has supported us greatly. Thank you. In the Volta region, we are on Akpini Radio 96.7. In Bando, we are on Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe. In the Northern region, we are live on Dasuma 99.1 FM. in Yendi. In the Upper East region, we're on Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. In Upper West, on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. We are also in the Northeast region on Eagle 94.1 in Wali Wali. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are interactive. We are also on citynewsroom.com. Send us your messages 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Let's also receive your messages using the hashtag City Newsroom. My handle is at Umaru Sanda. You can also send your message to at City973. Let's start off with yesterday. Before then, we have Fifi Bafu. He speaks for Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the NPP running mate. We have him on the line to speak to some of the issues that were raised yesterday. But before then, in case you missed it, this is what the Minister for Energy said when he was unveiled as running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at the Jubilee Park in Kumasi yesterday.
So ya papa no abobra na wa wuba na wuba no abedi wade na odi tapade na ire akoda nim na nado dan kwakufu ado awu Dr. Bawumia ama na Ghana fo nyina o se bakọ ya no ho efe na ho akono ya didi Ghana ni ma ya dai eye ya ti MPP kroi e bi sida ya nyina ya be ka bo ma bia ya adwumaden afiwe ami asha na nado dan kwakufu ado e bi se odo kwa Dr. Bawumia bere obeba e bi siwa MPP boda Ghana ha ya chechi Ghana abakosoma President Kufuor call retirement. But if the Mr. Kesiri who said a free start 1957, Ebekane, your president be our Ghana China and Abdul Kufuor. Messi a free start 1957, Bekane, Mofamo Kwame Nkrumah, Mofamo Obia, the Wabadi Mampania, what Ghana who buy, and the Ghana colony, China and Abdul Kufuor. Make a say. Yadi jawa yadi oswa yadi jano no ofaswa ye manu ya akono eti na ye jira ha yamba de see 2008 de bi sibiobo.
So that's Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, aka Napo, speaking in Kumasi yesterday. So it was his acceptance speech and also an address to the teaming supporters of the party who were at the Jubilee Park, charged and ready to listen to him. Now, a lot of that did not make the headlines, but the last part of his speech where he talked about the comparison between Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the founding president of the republic, where he said Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has even done better than, to use the chief phrase, Mo Kwame Nkrumah, which is to wit, your Kwame Nkrumah, when he was speaking to the critics of Akufo-Addo when he was speaking. Now, that's what has generated lots of backlash for him. Today, he went to the Western North region. He was in Wasa Menfi, and he paid a courtesy call. That will be his first visit as, or first assignment as running mate of the MPP. He paid a courtesy call on Tetrete Okuamwa Sechim II, Omahini of Wasa Menfi traditional area at Wasa Kropon in the Western North region. He stated that what he said was the truth, and that's why he's been attacked. Listen to him.
Politicians, yaman yourself no, in fee 9 na another Dankwa Akufo-Addo Moktanechi ama di obetimi ayi bia waye wo Ghana empo ikokanya ze yajima no esibone we say free say to Ghana 1957 by from Kwame Nkrumah ebekane abentie ni waye adwuma chen another Dankwa Akufo-Addo na aja Ochiswa. Akayese amanyosep aye no nana. Okano kra yeso ni nsade. Utwantra ni abusi ama. Mo bane me, mo nana ne me. Mo amfa ntro. Ene ehun ne shemi mu.
So that's Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, NPP running mate, MP for Mensha South, Minister for Energy, speaking during a courtesy call on Tetrete Okuamwa Sechim II, Omahini of Wasa Menfi traditional area at Wasa Kropon in the Western North region. Fifi Bafu is a man who speaks for the NPP running mate. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you.
If he had not made his second statement today, a question that would ask you if he was going to apologize or possibly correct himself would suffice. But now that he has defended what he said and stands by same, and even says that he was being attacked for telling the truth, means that he's standing by the words that if we were to compare all presidents of Ghana since 1957, he believes that Nana Akufo-Addo stands tall, and he's not only standing tall, but he's standing taller than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah the Osagyefo. Is that a position that your candidate or your boss wants to put out?
Well, Dr. Prempeh said two things today. What he said was that the interpretation that has been put to the statement he made is inaccurate. However, he holds the position that the Akufo-Addo government has performed better than any other government we've seen in our country. So that's what he said.
Okay, so that doesn't really depart from what has been said. So he said that Akufo-Addo has done better than Kwame Nkrumah. That is a position.
Yeah, that is his position.
Based on what? What was the yardstick for measuring? What did he use? What touchstone?
So, Sanda, Dr. Prempeh is a member of the New Patriotic Party. He has served as Minister for Education for 4 years. He's currently the Minister for Energy. This is a man who is part of the government. He has assessed what the government has done for the country. There are those who have also experienced other governments. They also hold a contrary view to his position, and they have every right to do so. What he said is his position, and he is not imposing it on any other person. And I believe that every other person, we all have our rights. We all have the opportunity to express our views. Yes, we consider the fact that our former president, our first president, the struggles he went through, the fact that he contributed to independence, it had nothing to do with the struggle for independence. He was basically talking about the performance of a government compared to another government's performance. Indeed, if you listen to the entire speech by Dr. Prempeh, the target was mainly about the NDC and the political opponents going into the next election. But of course, a lot of us believe that Nkrumah did so much for the country. And he says that if you want to compare, then the comparison is not with the others, but the comparison is with Nkrumah. And he holds the position that Akufo-Addo's government has done better than Nkrumah's government. It is fair for anybody to also hold the contrary view. But then, I think that as an individual, he's also entitled to share a position. You may agree or disagree with him.
So it's a view that is not necessarily factual that he shared yesterday.
You know what? It is a subjective view. Assessment of the government is one that it depends on who is doing the assessment and based on which metrics the person is using.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking. What metrics did he use? So what sector did he? Because when you compare with NDC, usually do sector by sector. So what is the yardstick for this particular measure?
It is the entirety of the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration. At least he has said as the Minister of Education. Yesterday, he enumerated a number of the things he was able to achieve as Minister of Education for our country. On the same platform, you had Dr. Baumia, the flag bearer of the party, talking about the things that have been done by the government. You heard President Akufo-Addo talking about the things he's achieved as president of our country. Sanda, it is not an imposition that, the fact that Napo has said it means that he's forcing it down your throat. He holds strong view on that yes, the government has done well. If you hold a contrary view, you are free to also advance an argument to say that, no, I disagree with your point, and this is the reason why I disagree with your point. But the sad thing is that now people are not ready to offer contrary position backed by evidence to say that, well, we believe that Nkrumah did A, B, C, D, for which reason we believe that Nkrumah did better than Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Rather, it is about the fact that, no, it's Nkrumah. Don't mention Nkrumah's name. I've even had a statement by some persons who says they are members of the CPP. They have the right to do so, but they are saying that just the fact that he has mentioned Nkrumah's name, it's a crime. I do not believe that that is a crime. And that's the more reason why Dr. Prempeh was making the point that, well, he doesn't feel intimidated to the effect that he cannot even express a view. If you disagree with him, yes, you can adduce evidence to that effect, but do not say that you cannot have a position, you cannot have an opinion. So what is the point in serving in a government when you cannot defend the government?
Very well,
the man has served in the government. He is putting out information which he believes that based on this information, I believe that our government has done better. If we are to go by the argument that we are hearing today, then it means that every other government should know that no matter what you do, it will not get to the level of Nkrumah. I thought we were striving for better things. I thought we seek to do better than we've done in the past. So if the argument today is that do not say anything or do not even do what can be compared to Nkrumah, then are we retrogressing or we are progressing?
Okay, so you and I are journalists, or at least you were until recently. I don't know if you still are. We do know that you can express opinion, but that opinion has to be informed. Would you say your boss's opinion was really informed, that opinion he shared yesterday?
It's under asking me to assess my boss. Sorry, that's not my job.
Okay. Would you say with hindsight that he should have used Kwame Nkrumah in his analogy or in his comparison?
Am I to assess my boss? Sorry, that's not my job.
You're not going to speak to that. The next issue is he said, Kwame Nkrumah, no, you are a tree speaker. He is giving the Nkrumah to some group of persons. He does not own him. What does that mean? What was he intending to say?
Well, he admits that did not come out well. Indeed, it was an expression to mean that those who believe that Nkrumah's performance is the best we've seen, he shares a contrary view, and his view is that Akufo-Addo has done better. But yes, how it came out didn't really sound like the intentions he had, but he had no reason to sound disrespectful or condescending to our first president. It didn't come out the way he intended, but suddenly there was no malice.
But he did not withdraw that when he had the opportunity to speak to them, and he did not apologize, or did I miss that part of the tape?
Well, his point today, or the visit to the Omaini, was not about the speech yesterday. It was basically to let him know that this is the course he's taking, asking for support and prayer. So that was in passing. It wasn't a forum to address that issue, except that, of course, as media people, we choose what we consider important, and that is why this has become the front burner topic for conversation.
No, because you said he has admitted that it may not have come out well, one can year. I'm just asking, did he say that in a public forum, or this is for you to communicate to us that he has?
I speak for Dr. Prempeh.
Okay, so that's the position now.
Yes, I have had conversation with him and say that, did you intend, say, disrespecting our former president? He said, no, how could I disrespect our former president? That wasn't my intention. Of course, Sandra, you also realize that this was a charged political campaign platform. And we all know that on a charged political campaign platform, sometimes the gestures and the excitement do not help in getting information out exactly the way you want it. And I'm communicating to you what his intention was. And his intention was that my government, the government in which I serve, the President Akufo-Addo's government, I believe has performed better than any other government.
Okay, so
even former President Nkrumah, who a lot of people believe did so well, I hold the position that Akufo-Addo's government has done better than that government.
So you're saying that the sober Napo who spoke to you today does not agree with the charged Napo who spoke to the crowd yesterday on a political forum?
Sandra, I am communicating to you what the position of Dr. Prempeh is, and his position is that he is not in any way disrespecting our former president. He respects him.
Yeah, I get that, but because you've explained that during political forum.
I think I've done the explanation.
I know. So my point is that you've said that in charge political settings like that. No, it's important because we are going into an election. He would be meeting larger crowds. He will be making more statements. If he misspoke yesterday and you are thinking that possibly he was speaking to a charged crowd, is a political thing, so sometimes what you intend to say may not really come out the way you intended to. Can we trust that in the future when he meets other rallies and speaks to them, he may not say worse things and come back later to say that's not the intent?
Well, Sandra, Dr. Prempe is human. We are all human. As human beings, we learn by the day. And our experiences guide us as human. I'm sure today, the things I would do, given the opportunity sometime to come, I'll reflect and do better. Every human being would do the same, and Dr. Prempe is not an exception.
Okay, now, another question. Yesterday was his outdooring to the party and to the nation. He spoke extempore. With hindsight on your side now, would you say he should have given a prepared speech so that there will be some brevity and some specificity of what he intended to say, so that you do not have to come and do a mop-up exercise barely 24 hours after he's nominated?
Well, Sandra, yesterday was a political rally. Every forum determines the kind of preparation and then also what should go into the preparation for the person to speak. Yes, I'm not sure when he has to deliver a lecture at a forum or any such engagement, he would have to do extempore communication. Yesterday he met chiefs. He didn't have a prepared text in his hand. But I'm saying that going forward, he has taken the feedback that has come in, and life is a learning curve, and I think that should suffice.
You and I spoke on Orange FM 2 days ago for Eyewitness News here in Accra, and I put to you the question about the claims being made around that Napo is an arrogant man. You said you've known him for years, more than a decade. He's not an arrogant person. In fact, your colleague, Director of Communication, Dennis Miracles Abuaji, says we should let the man speak for himself or show himself to the Ghanaian population so we know who he really is and that he does not believe he's an arrogant person. Since yesterday's speech, many people are saying that he has exhibited that tag that was put on him, to the extent that the Otumfuo spoke to him and said that it is said you are arrogant. I do not think you are. I've spoken to you in private. I'm speaking to you here. Please do not become that because you are not that. Now people are saying, say Kanye. What do you say to that?
Well, just like you indicated that my colleague Miracles talked about, Dr. Prempe is out there engaging the public. Today, he was at the palace of Teteto Kwamwasechin. Today, he has been to the Almighty of discourse. He's engaged. As I speak to you, we are on our way to meet another Almighty. And so far, there has not been any feedback to suggest that he's showing arrogance and disrespect, but we've had very, very positive feedback from the Almighty he's engaged today. And our expectation is that same feedback we shall receive as we engage going forward. He is going out there, he is engaging with people, and people will realize that, yes, Dr. Prempe is very straightforward, go-getter, visionary, someone who would deliver when you give him a responsibility. People feel that, well, sometimes it's forthrightness, it must be managed such that it does not appear as though he is brushing people off. But so far, the engagement we've had, I think, has been very positive. And he's not only sitting in Accra, writing statements, describing what people are doing, but he's going out there, engaging the people and letting them appreciate the reason why they should vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to implement his bold policies for our country.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. What next agenda do we have on the... Okay, apologies if you lost Fifi Bafu there. I was just going to ask him what the running mate is going to do next. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So we are speaking about the statements made by Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe yesterday. Which statements have led to him receiving a barrage of criticism and attacks coming across since he compared Nana Akufo-Addo to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, saying that Akufo-Addo is the best president, even outperformed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah via Sajefo. Now, just last week, Thursday, ahead of that was after the National Council meeting, at which meeting Napo was confirmed as the running mate of the NPP. Salom Kojo-Adonu, who sat for me here on Eyewitness News, interviewed Professor Samuel Edu Jemfi. He's a political historian at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. There's something he said there which ties into this particular conversation we are having tonight about how the communication and speeches of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh ought to be managed, else it becomes suicidal for the New Patriotic Party. Let's listen to that.
I'm of the view that in terms of public engagement, and i.e. when he's supposed to deliver a speech or on a campaign platform, I would suggest that he should not speak extempore, and further afield, he should not speak off the cuff. I am of the view that the political handlers, the political marketers and experts in speech and those who are going to write speeches for him must present him with a lower tone because he has a strong personality and charisma in that blend where he's able to communicate with maybe a passive voice and in a way to also be quite humane in many respects when they write his speech for him. So his speech should have a tone that is polite, respectful, cuts across, and has a certain soberliness within the sphere. The second bit of it is that grapevine conversation here and there, and also public conversation suggests that he is not necessarily a friend of the media. I may push back on that because that might be unfair to him, but I think that he should begin to position himself as an individual who is a friend of the media and has respect for the media. With that in mind, it doesn't matter who sits before him to pose questions at him. He would be able to reflect, and even when he has to push back on a question he doesn't like or he was not expecting, he would use a tone, have a posture, and come out in a certain sense of reflection because it is Ghanaians who want to hear him. The media is the fourth estate of the realm. The media is supposed to quiz him, ask critical questions about what his government has done and what himself and his flag bearer are able to contribute. The third leg of it is that if he's put on the platform to have a debate, right, with the running mate of the NDC presidential candidate, remember that candidate is a linguist. She's done that most of her lifetime. She has a certain flair in using language to his advantage. And he should not take that for granted. And so when you're on the stage, it is not how much you are able to shout and, hit the table with your fist and speak with a certain overt bravado. It is your ability to cut across and to be seen as an individual who has a sense of rapport with the media and with the general public. And that props must be done by the political handlers or the experts in the NPP.
Very well.
They should not just let him go. He should also listen to them and understand that the days of himself are over. It is the days where the public expects much more from him.
So that's Professor Samuel Edu Jemfi. He's a political historian at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He was speaking to Salom Adonu on Thursday, July 4. That was just last week, on the day that the NPP council members approved the nomination of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And that is just to put the issues in some more perspectives. And Kwame Nkrumah, or your Kwame Nkrumah, is a phrase that Napo used, which phrase many people were not happy with. And of course, one group that would even be angrier with such a statement is a group that you can call the owner of Kwame Nkrumah, the Convention People's Party. They've been speaking, Howard.
The Convention People's Party CPP has taken a swipe at the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, for his disparaging comment against the first president of Ghana, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now reacting to the development, the Deputy Secretary of the Independent Committee of the CPP, Joyce Labi, said the CPP finds the comment by the NPP running mate as distasteful.
As a mature politician, you need to speak to the people, speak to the issues, speak to why you think you can be a better mate to the driver. But going to the grave to talk about a man who has won the African Man of the Millennium, even after decades of his death, to compare President Akufo-Addo's achievement to him, it tells me from the word go that he has a psychological disorder problem. And it is a disadvantage to the political party that he is associating himself with. And I see a big problem coming to them. First of all, he is saying that no president since independence has helped Ghana than President Akufo-Addo. The word independence, who even achieved it? It is Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah under the governance of CPP, Conventions People's Party. So even the independence achieved is a great achievement for what Osajifo did for Ghana. When you put that one aside, you go into the numerous factories that Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah built under the governance CPP government at that time.
Deputy Secretary of the Independent Committee of the CPP, Joyce Labi. Now on his part, Executive Director of Civil Society Group, Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, that is Mensah Thompson, believes the perceived arrogant tag against the NPP running mate should be a concern for the party.
I think yesterday was a very instructive day. If you remember, prior to the announcement of Dr. Machupuku Prempeh, there has been a series of concerns that has been raised by people about his persona, his competence, and a number of things. Yesterday was a fine opportunity for Dr. Puku Prempeh to prove his critics wrong. Unfortunately, looking at what transpired yesterday, I think the NPP should be very, very worried going into the 2024 elections. For independent-minded people watching the proceedings yesterday, even for those who've never had an encounter whatsoever with Dr. Puku Prempeh, after watching his unveiling yesterday and his first public commentary after his nomination, I'm sure that person will be wondering what went into the decision of the NPP choosing him as a running mate. It was extremely awful to behold. And I think that for want of a better expression, the NPP may have handed the 2024 elections to the NDC on a silver platter.
Executive Director of ASEPA, Mensah Thompson. Let's now hear from the opposition NDC, who have described the comments by Napo as unfortunate.
Our opponents, the MPP in government, have failed the opportunity to rebound. Number two, if the appointment and the whole function was to activate and rejuvenate the Ashanti base of the MPP, it has failed because it hasn't yielded results. If they were doing so to project persons or two individuals who are capable of becoming president and vice president post President Akufo-Addo's regime, then yesterday was a bad story. Yesterday was an opportunity for the vice president to disprove that the country is not on autopilot. But as natural of him, it was a comedy platform.
He had a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Bande. Meanwhile, Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, has said he has been vindicated after his comment on Napo indicated that his speeches must always be scripted.
I think the most colorful event was the one that happened at Malaysia. And if you listen to Otumfo's comment, it was really to advise the running mate to more or less submit to DMB and not to let the perception about him become true. So for me, those were quite interesting comments from Otumfo. But the political event itself, I said before the program that Napo has to be scripted. You shouldn't allow him to go ex-tempo. And I think some of us who said that yesterday were vindicated. That's all I can say on that.
That was the Executive Director of the Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you a builder, contractor, or homeowner with a passion for quality? Look no further. At Yale, we pride ourselves in trusted security and quality hardware for doors. Visit our showroom on 11th Lane Street in Accra, Ghana, and discover the world of Yale door hardware handles and locks. At Yale, we understand your need for security and the desire for elegance. Our products not only protect your loved ones, but also add a touch of sophistication to your home or business. Whether you're renovating your space or crafting a new masterpiece, Yale is your trusted partner with a history of 180 years of innovation. Come on down to Yale today. Experience the perfect blend of security and style with Yale. Yale, where security meets style.
Hey, today. I can't wait to watch my favorite sports on my newest NASCO television. Charlie, the view be clear, Papa. HD quality you can trust.
Ever since Kwame became a star with NASCO, if not football, then it's chilling with his friends with some ice-chilled drink from NASCO's refrigerator because it chills so well.
No wonder his friends can't resist but come to watch their games here. I think they like the cool breeze with NASCO air condition.
NASCO's washing machine and gas cooker makes home lovely.
Go! It's always fun with NASCO home appliances. Enjoying the football you love and all other NASCO products like the adorable NASCO Ion, NASCO Microwave, and NASCO Blender. Visit all our EGL showrooms nationwide and grab yours now or via online. NASCO delivery is fast and swift. Just a call away. Make the football viewing experience memorable with NASCO home appliances. NASCO, bring home happiness.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. The Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, has for the second time failed to attend a meeting with the government and the National Labour Commission despite being summoned to address their concerns. The association initiated an industrial action on Wednesday, July 3, over the government's failure to implement a new salary structure approved by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission 1.5 years after a memorandum of understanding was signed. Addressing journalists, Director of the National Labour Commission, Dr. Benis Welbeck, indicated that the case has been adjourned to July 17.
The respondent, that is government, appeared and reported that the parties were still engaged and so prayed for extension of time. So the case is adjourned today's week, 17th, for reporting. So in fact, government, the respondent actually came to report that the parties are engaging.
And so you are satisfied with that?
Of course, if they are engaging towards settlement, it's fine. What we want is results. So.
Is the commission surprised that CLOGSAG did not turn up once again?
No. You see, the issue is that the respondent came, that is government, the employer, and said that the matter That is before the commission, the parties are engaging right towards settlement. And so that is that.
Dr. Bernice Welbeck is director of the National Labour Commission. The minority in Parliament has threatened to haul the Interior Minister Henry Okotie before the House over what it deems as a secret recruitment into the security services. This follows reports of a planned recruitment of 11,000 personnel from a backlog of applicants over the years. The minority contends that a press release from the Ghana Police Service suggests that there is no backlog to be recruited into the security services. Addressing journalists in Parliament, the ranking member on the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agalga, says the process of recruitment must be transparent and fair.
Brother, this is documentary evidence. This is documentary evidence. They are saying that the entire recruitment process for the 2021-2022 recruitment process had come to an end. You see, the idea of a backlog is that you start some recruitment process and, you know, along the way, you are unable to complete the exercise. So you have some outstanding applicants to deal with. That is what the backlog is all about. But the police are saying that they had cleared all the applicants. What that means is that those who were not shortlisted and issued with admission letters had not met the eligibility criteria for recruitment. So they had drawn the curtain for the 2021-2022 recruitment exercise. And that is the message we have been seeking to drum home, that there is nothing like a backlog. The speaker in the leader in the course of his presentation made it very clear that, you see, if you were to work with backlogs, the danger is that, one, those persons who may have applied, their ages would disqualify them. Their health status would have changed, because we are talking about 2-3 years down the line. The health status of the applicants, if they were qualified in 2021-2022, you would have to review their health status once again. But such an exercise would call for fresh applications. Above all, we are talking about a country that has a constitution. If you look at the directive principles of state policy, what is envisaged in those principles is that you create equal opportunity for Ghanaians in terms of their access or desire to work with the public services. And the services under the Ministry of the Interior are part of the public services. So you cannot limit access to a so-called backlog. When you do that, you contravene Article 17 of our Constitution, because you then be discriminating in favor of the people who once applied as far back as 2021. How about those who have just turned 18 and are qualified to also serve in our security agencies? That is the point we are making. We have no problems whatsoever if they intend to recruit, and this is not the first time the security services under the Ministry of the Interior will recruit. In the era of the NDC, we did some recruitments, but those recruitments were preceded by advertisements which captured the eligibility criteria. So all the leader is saying is that let the Minister for the Interior play according to the rules of fairness and transparency and cause an advert to be made. Now, Kumsin asked a follow-up question. He wanted to know whether the minister would be hauled before the House. Yes, of course. He would have to be hauled to appear before the House and explain to Ghanaians why the process is shrouded, the process of recruitment under his watch is shrouded in so much secrecy. Beyond that, you see, we have the Public Order Act, which could be invoked. If he appears and fails to give us satisfactory responses, we would invoke our rights under the Public Order Act and the Constitution. A series of demonstrations would rock our country in protest, because this particular move seeks to violate the rights of the youth, the teeming youth who are unemployed. The last time we checked, About 57% of our youth are unemployed. The least you can do to them is to ensure that when there is an opportunity for them to be recruited into our security services, there is fairness. The processes are not shrouded in secrecy.
Ranking member on the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agalga, meanwhile the majority has accused the minority caucus of stirring up political tension with its allegations of secret recruitment into the security services. The first Deputy Majority Chief Whip, Habib Idrisu, in addressing journalists, dismissed these allegations and said they are untrue.
And he put out some figures and distorted a lot of things, which is actually not true. It is inaccurate. He's throwing it into the public to cause political tension with regards to the recruitment process. In the first place, the Ministry of Interior is not recruiting any 11,900 and something figures as they have put it out there. It is never true. And also the fact that there is no backlog in terms of the security recruitment. What is on notice or what is true is that the Ministry of Interior only seek for clearance for the security agencies to recruit people into the security agency, meaning the Ministry of Interior will facilitate through the Ministry of Finance to get commencement for the recruitment. That is why you will see that when they is going to recruit anybody into the police service, the police will do their advertisement, they will do their own screening, they will do their own medicals. The process is for them. The Ministry of Interior only facilitates. So it is not the Ministry of Interior that is recruiting. The security agencies feed the Ministry of Interior about the need for personnel. And this very one, when they said that there is no backlog, the last time they did recruitment, over 50,000 people apply. So when 50,000 people apply, and at the end of the day, those who are successful are less than 50,000. Those who still apply and haven't qualification or qualify on their forms means that they are part of the backlog that we are talking about. So it is not the case that you said that there's no backlog. And secondly, in his statement, he also made of the fact that in paragraph 5, and if I may read the paragraph 5, he said that with the highlight credibility information suggesting that the ruling MPP was manipulating recruitment processes to favor its parliamentary candidates with 30 slots each, allocated it to each parliamentary candidate. We have 275 parliamentary candidates by the New Patriotic Party. If you say 30 slots each, it means that 30 multiplied by 30 in immigration, 30 police, 30 fire service, 30 prisons. That's 120. Take your calculators, 120 multiplied by 275. That's 33,000. Even what you are talking about, that there is some 11,000 clearance that is given to them. But you're already saying that 33,000 is given to parliamentary candidates. With that mathematics, you already know that what they are saying is not true. And this is not the first time that our colleagues from the other side is making this allegation. You remember last time when recruitment or similar thing was done in 2021, even there was a motion in Parliament to say that we should investigate the security recruitment process from 2017 to 2022, meaning invariably they should investigate how recruitment processes are done under the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia era. A counter motion was filed by us that we should investigate from 1993 to 2017. That made their motion to remain mute up till today, that they haven't done that. So what we are trying to say simply is that, one, it is not true that there's no backlog. Number two, no 11,900 clearance have been given. Number three, no 30 slots each has been given to any MPP parliamentary candidate, and we have done the mathematics together to give every parliamentary candidate 30 by the 4 security agencies that we are having, 120 by 275 constituencies in Ghana. That's 33,000, of which they themselves admitted that what Chronicle reported was even 11,000 something. And there is not going to be any medical or any screening process this week. It is not true. Nothing is going to happen this week with regards to any security recruitment.
First Deputy Majority Whip Habib Idrisu. Civil society organizations in health have confirmed that all medical supplies stuck at the Tema port for the past year have been cleared by the government. After several agitations by stakeholders and the minority in Parliament over the long delays in clearing the medical supplies donated by the Global Fund. The Minister for Health, Bernard Okoboy, assured that the drugs would be cleared within 2 weeks. Speaking to Citi News, the acting chair of the Ghana Country Coordinating Mechanism of the Global Fund, Ernest Amwabin, indicated that distribution to the regions has commenced while the warehouse cuts the goods in batches. He revealed that the Global Fund is happy with the progress made.
I can confirm to you that the clearing of the containers is still ongoing. Last week, we visited the warehouse that has been taking delivery of the containers, and we were told that all the containers had been released by the ports. Everything had been released. So they were carting them from the port to the warehouse. As at Monday this week, we received information that the last batch of chips that were needed from the GRA for the release of the 64 that were still outstanding has been issued. So I can confirm to you that technically all the containers have been released by government from the ports. Global Fund called us and we gave them progress of work that is being done. And based on the updates that we gave them, they are quite happy that the work is still ongoing. After the time we visited the warehouse, some of those which had already come in were being transported to the regions. So because of the situation, there's an emergency deployment plan. So as and when they come in, they are deployed to the regions.
That was the acting chair of the Ghana Country Coordinating Mechanism of the Global Fund, Ernest Amwabin.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
One of the best decisions you can possibly make at the start of your day is to tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show. Insightful, intriguing, intelligent, and informative. The Citi Breakfast Show offers an attractive alternative to the noisy mishmash of morning radio. Tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show for passionate discussions on issues that matter and enjoy interviews where duty bearers and decision makers have their feet held to the fire. The Citi Breakfast Show airs from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Kojo, I want to learn how to drive.
No problem at all, my dear. I will get Uncle Kofi to teach you. He taught my father and even me.
But Kojo pa, in this day and age...
Don't take chances when it comes to learning how to drive. Your best bet is Freight Masters Driving Institute. Freight Masters Driving Institute has qualified instructors who are dedicated to equipping you with the right skills for the road. Locate our office at Tema Community 5, adjacent Golden Chopsticks, or Tema Community 25 on the Deftraco Estate Road, Asaleboche, in the same building with Fidelity Bank, Westland, Hato, opposite Starbite Shell Filling Station, or on the Spintex Road, Aviation Highway Hydrophone Estate. Call us on 0303 973 388 or 0267 266 211. Visit our website www.freightmastersdriving.com. Freight Masters Driving Institute. Defensive driving with the right skills.
I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie.
You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan. And this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms. So invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. Latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that inflation has dropped with the June figure standing at 22.8%. The figure represents a 0.3 percentage decrease from the 23.1% recorded in May. The month-on-month rate also witnessed a decrease, recording 2.9%. Per the Consumer Price Index data released by the GSS, food and non-food inflation stood at 24% and 21.6% respectively. Here is the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Inim, giving a breakdown of the figures at a press conference in Accra earlier today.
Year-on-year rate of inflation for the month of June 2024 stood at 22.8%, signaling that between June 2023 and June 2024, prices of goods and services went up by 22.8%. This rate of inflation indicates a slowdown in the rate of inflation by 0.3 percentage points on a month-on-month basis, as the rate of inflation for May 2024 stood at 23.1%. From a food inflation and a non-food inflation perspective, we see a reversal of the dominance of non-food inflation, as in the month of May 2024, non-food inflation recorded a 1.0 percentage point rate of inflation higher than food inflation. This dominance of non-food inflation has been reversed for the month of June 2024, as food inflation recorded a rate of 2.4 percentage points higher than non-food inflation, with food inflation 24.0% and non-food inflation 21.6%. We see a widening in the gap between inflation on locally produced items and inflation on imported items. With a variation of 7.5 percentage points, inflation for locally produced items stood at 25.0% for the month of June 2024, relative to 17.5% for inflation on imported items.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Inim. Economic watchers are urging government to focus on implementing long-term measures to sustain the gains made in the economy so far. Ratings agency Moody's has indicated to upgrade Ghana's credit rating following the country's Eurobond exchange. In a statement issued on Tuesday, it indicated that it has completed a periodic review of Ghana's ratings, including its long-term issuer ratings of CAA3 for local currency and CA for foreign currency. These ratings, it said, reflect the government's ongoing debt restructuring under the G20 Common Framework initiated in December 2022. Commenting on the issue, economist Professor Patrick Isumi noted that the news is expected.
It's positive that it's something in the right direction, but let's not read too much into it and think that's a signal of any significant improvement in our economy. I mean, if it was going to do something, the first thing you will see is a movement on the secondary trading of Eurobonds. I'm not sure that have seen any movement there. It's a matter of course, probably, that once we we complete the debt restructuring, that kind of upgrade will come back. It doesn't mean that our access to the market is restored. It doesn't fundamentally communicate that the economy has become stronger or anything like that. Even if magically our access to international markets, the capital markets were restored, that shouldn't be what we are worrying about. We are still heavily in debt, still struggling to pay our service our debt. The economy is still extremely weak. That is where our attention should be, trying to build a more resilient economy.
He had economist Professor Patrick Esumin. Now, to drive the safety and security of consumers, 51 cybersecurity entities have been certified by the Cybersecurity Authority to provide services in accordance with domestic and international best practices. The entities include 8 cybersecurity services providers, 35 cybersecurity professionals, and 8 cybersecurity establishments. Among the entities approved by the authority are Absa Bank Ghana Limited, GCB Bank PLC, Fidelity Bank Ghana, Visual Infosec Africa Limited, and Enterprise Computing Limited. Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Nchibu-Esiako, in an interview with the media, noted that the certification is necessary in protecting citizens in a vibrant cyberspace.
We had instances where even repairers are extracting people's information and selling them on the black market, using them to blackmail them. It is an intrusive area, and forward-thinking countries are taking steps, and Ghana is one of them within the African continent, number one, leading this process. So it is necessary for the protection of our citizens within the digital ecosystem. But there's also other aspect of the developmental one. If you look at the professionals we are accrediting, cybersecurity jobs are the new jobs that our young IT people are pursuing. A regulatory regime ought to be developmental in nature like ours to support them. So currently we've registered about more than 1,003 across 3 different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So the tier 1 being the most experienced, more than 10 years working in serious cybersecurity environment. The tier 3 are also those who are starting within their first few years in this profession. The idea is to build capacity around these areas.
Dr. Albert Nchibu-Esiako is Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority. The African Center for Retirement Research has urged the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SNIT) to find innovative ways to improve contributions to the scheme. Total contributions to the scheme last year reached almost 7 billion cedis. In an interview with Citi Business News, the Executive Director of the African Center for Retirement Research, Abdallah Mashoud, emphasized that despite these figures, more needs to be done to enhance contributions.
For us to improve the long-term sustainability of the scheme, the administrators should be looking at improving the compliance enforcement strategy so that we can bring in more contributions. We have to find ways of improving the investment outcomes of SNIC. Of course, it's very difficult to control benefits, but we should also be looking at improving the administrative and operational cost of the scheme. I think SNIC is looking to improve amount of contribution that is being collected, or is looking to improve the ratio of beneficiaries to contributors. It has been on the decline for some time, and that is what we call the dependency ratio. It's been on the decline right now. We used to have 17 contributors supporting one pensioner. As we speak today, the number has come down to just 7 contributors supporting one pensioner, and this indicator fits very well into the actual valuation report.
That was the Executive Director of the African Center for Retirement Research, Abdallah Mashoud, and in Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Attention, facility management professionals. Get ready for the event of the year, the IFMA Global Africa Conference in Ghana, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium, hosted by the International Facility Management Association's Ghana chapter. This is your chance to meet the world's top FM experts, thought leaders, and innovators. Immerse yourself in groundbreaking keynotes, interactive panels, hands-on workshops, and unmatched networking sessions. Explore the future of facility management in Africa's booming built environments. Don't miss out on the epic gathering of minds and ideas. The IFMA Global Africa Conference, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium. Be there. Proudly sponsored by Fides Group. To register or to sponsor, please call 0558 368 544.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Chani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight we're talking about our extractive industry. There's some controversy around a concession owned by two separate companies and the intervention of government and a decision that has been taken at arbitration. So there have been lots of reactions to that arbitration award in the proceedings brought against the state by E&I. While the Attorney General Office says it has saved the state in excess of 1 billion euros, stakeholders believe the arbitration has caused Ghana to incur unnecessary expenses and expensive legal fees. On Point Blank tonight, my colleague Hansen Ajiman sat with one of the deputy attorneys general, Alfred Tuanyeboa, on whether or not Ghana lost, won, or came out of the arbitration bruised. Let's listen to that conversation.
It's a win for the state because we're taking there on specific reliefs, and all the reliefs basically were dismissed, especially with regards to the monetary compensation. Had it not been the fact that we had this arbitration in our favor, the state was going to pay in excess of $1 billion. And so it's a win for the state.
$1,000.
Yes, initially their claim was for $7 billion as compensation. But having been pushed further, they amended. They now said they were claiming $915 million together with interest. So that's how come you see in the award 900 plus as the claim that was put in by the claimants.
So if you were to say that the state has lost, that would mean that the state will be paying 900,000.
The state will have been paying $950 million.
$950 million.
Together with interest. And that would have taken us to maybe $1.5 billion or $2 billion. The IMF money that we are looking for is not $3 billion.
Yeah. So that would have been close to half of that money.
Exactly. So that's when the state has won.
So if anybody is saying that the state has lost, then that should be the scenario. Any other scenario is victory for the state.
Exactly. if anybody should say that the state has lost, the person should come up with his award. Maybe he has an award that he's reading that we are not reading. But what we have as parties to the arbitration, the state has won this arbitration.
But the state is still paying some monies. You are supposed to pay some monies to the SC. You bear some legal costs. What legal amount, monetary value is the state going to part away with as a result of this entire procedure?
Yes. If you go on international arbitration, definitely you have the arbitrators. You also have costs associated with the arbitration. And so the parties were to bear their individual costs. But aside from that, were to pay an amount of 189,000 euros, if I'm not mistaken, to the SCC. So that's the only amount that the state is obliged to pay.
So the SCC is the area where the arbitration committee was held.
Exactly.
And so it is not money you are paying to ENI, nor to the claimant.
As we have it now, we're supposed to make that payment, and that's part of our cost. And so at the end of the day, that amount will go to the SCC. But I was going through the award, and it appears the state will even have the right to also even file an appeal against the award of 189,000.
Yeah, I realize that the state has the state taken a decision on that yet?
No decision yet. So it just came. We're going through it.
Now, but critics of this award claim that you spent monies in contracting lawyers at an expensive rate, and they thought that it's a loss in a way on the part of the state.
Those who say so, I don't know where they are getting information from. Now, since the current AG assumed office, the decision has been that any time that we have international arbitration, we rely mainly on the lawyers in this office. It's not 100%. There are instances that we have to engage foreign counsel. But in this particular case, the lawyers from this office, they were in the majority. The AG himself was part of it. And you may even rely on some external counsel, but they were not there. They didn't spend on those external counsel like we ought to have spent if we were to engage full external counsel to represent us in this particular case. If you go to court and you're litigating, my brother, definitely you have to pay costs to people who go and handle the matter for you. So in this particular instance, if we went there and we spent some money because we were sued, I mean, that's the normal course of things to do. But fortunately for us, having sued us, the claimants lost. So it's either you pay some money for the lawyers or from those in the office to go and then defend you, or you don't go and defend and someone will claim in excess of $1 billion against you.
I mean, the AG's office has made this point about using local representations for international arbitrations. But as part of the parties that were listed in the judgment, you have lawyers from Smith Freehills representing the state. These obviously are not from the AG's office.
Exactly. That was said. In most of the arbitrations that we conduct outside Ghana since 2021, we've been relying on local or lawyers from this office. In some of them, we partner foreign firms. In this particular case, AG himself was part of it. Then other lawyers, then we had the external counsel.
So this is one of the cases where you didn't rely fully on representation from the AG's office.
Exactly.
But do you have in mind estimation how much the state spent with respect to the partnership with these foreign lawyers?
I don't have it now. I think GMPC should have it because they actually are the institution responsible for the payment of the costs. And definitely, I will be the last person to say they never spent any money. They spent money on counsel, but the results shows.
So if we are to do the utility argument, the benefit is on the side of Ghana.
Very much. I mean, way beyond.
But what about those who say we shouldn't have gotten here in the first place? Because if you look at how the whole process started, Springfield goes in with a request. ENI obviously disagreed with the points, and those who have criticized the AG's office have said that the argument that were raised by E&I during the arbitration and essentially before the arbitration and in engagement with the ministry actually were upheld by the court. And so we shouldn't have gotten here in the first place.
If you are in charge of an institution of the state, you have a duty to make decisions. If you make a decision, a person affected by it may either take it or may want to challenge you on it. In this instance, the Ministry of Energy, the decision was taken on unitization. And the claimants thought that that wasn't the right decision. They took us out there arguing that the decision was wrongful and that they had incurred some damages as a result of the decision. But if we go through the arbitral award, nowhere did they say the decision was in actual fact something that was unwarranted. They talk about the circumstances. And so now we are back to square one, where we then need to sit down with the parties, and that decision now rests with the state.
But isn't that the worry, because the process basically has been documented in statute, and it needed for products from one oil field to have straddled, or in other words, moved from that oil field to another. The judgment said there was no evidence at all to show that indeed one product has straddled from one oil field to the other. Isn't it worrying that GNPC and the Ministry of Energy will make such a determination without confirming such a fact?
I don't know whether that fact has been made in the award. As to whether that decision could be taken by government and GNPC, the only thing that you see in the award is that the circumstances leading to it. So meaning, we can still come back, look at the circumstances, and perhaps say that we still think that unitization is where we have to go. So it's not as if the state has now been bad.
But I think that in all this, the claimants themselves agreed that the state had the powers of ordering for unitization. But the manner in which that order came, first the option given to the parties to agree on unitizing, they argue that the condition precedent had not been met. That is, that there have not been any straddling. And then the subsequent directive compelling them to unitize on terms that had been determined by the Ministry of Energy. The judgment couldn't find any law in our books that gave that powers to the MOE.
When it comes to unitization, as you really indicated, is done when it comes to oil and gas. And it's the view of the Ministry of Energy and GNPC that they reserve the right to make that decision. As to the facts on the ground, at the time that they made that decision, they thought that that was the right decision, because if you read the award, you see how it started, meeting the parties and then getting to that conclusion. So now it is about the procedure and circumstances. So that decision has not been taken away from them. So if we come back and we want to go along the same direction, that's where we are setting the verdict, the award. And we also have our experts on hand. If the initial steps taken were not the proper steps taken, that could lead to unitization directive. It means that there are other steps to be taken that we could reach that unitization decision.
But how involved was the AG's office before the arbitration proceedings? Because the AG's office is the principal advisor to the state, and the procedure is a matter of law. Was the AG's office aware that the GNPC was doing? Was the advice of the AG sought on how they should go about it?
I do not because it started a long while, but definitely I should think that any state institution, before it takes any decision or after taking any decision, may want to seek the opinion of the Attorney General. But speaking to you now, I don't have, but definitely that should be the position.
So, for those who say that we shouldn't have reached here because these arguments that were advanced during the arbitration committee were made before the ministry, GNPC, there were subsequent interactions, even with the president. Will you say their point stands, or they are not being fair to the state?
I will not say they are not being fair to the state, or whether they are being fair to the state. They went out there thinking that they had a genuine case against the state. They went out there thinking that having been under that decision, they have suffered millions of dollars by way of damages, and they need to be compensated. Now, there's this award to the effect that they're entitled to zero. So what simply it means is that they are still in our country. There's a need for them for the party to sit back, come together again, and see if we are to go along that path. How do we do it? So I will not actually fault them. Technically speaking, they're also business people. If you disagree with the decision, the law says that you also have a way of redressing it. And that's the option that they took.
So essentially, my understanding, and for a lot of people, is that the arbitration committee says, even though the state has the power to do it, the state didn't go through the right procedure, and also that the claimants didn't prove that indeed they incurred some damage for which damages should be awarded against the state.
Exactly. At the end of the day, as I said, what the claimants wanted to get was that they had incurred some damages as a result of the decision of GMPC and the Ministry of Energy. The panel disagreed with them and awarded zero compensation to them. So what is left now is the procedure that the Ministry of Energy and GMPC could activate if they are to go by the directive they should unitize.
So where does that leave the state now? Obviously, the AG's office has not had a comprehensive meeting on the judgment yet, but has GMPC given an indication of still hoping to go ahead with the unitization?
There are various options, which I cannot disclose now. We are looking at various options that we may have to activate if we may want them to unitize. At the appropriate time, definitely, when the decision is reached, you get to know of it.
You earlier hinted of a possible appeal process for the about $189,000 that are supposed to be paid. Have you heard anything from ENI if they seek to even appeal the decision of the court of the arbitration committee for no damages not to be paid to them?
No communication from them yet. I think this one came about 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? Today is 9th, right? So we've not heard from them. So we are also waiting.
But the state is ready in case if they want to appeal it further.
We cannot stop them. If they don't take it up, we also be ready to meet them.
Going forward in areas like these where there are a lot of interest at play and a lot of technicalities, how best is the AG's office going to deal with such institutions who handle such cases?
Yes, institutions of state are supposed to go by the laws of the land, and decisions that they take are always sent to the AG's office for validation and possible advice. And so I also advise all other agencies to go by that standard practice. That anytime we take a decision, the AG is involved when it's about law or legality. Ministry of Energy, GMPC, they took the decision that they thought was the right decision at the time, and they still have that right to take such a decision. It's only about the procedure, and that they cannot be faulted on the ground that maybe they never came to the AG or they were wrong. No. And so all agents of the state must bear in mind that the AG's office is their principal legal advisor, and if any time that they may want to have any opinion on a matter, legal opinion, the AG's office is there for them. It's rather unfortunate. I can state without any equivocation that the current AG, I'm not saying this because I'm his deputy, he has discharged his duty as an Attorney General of the Republic with distinction. He's passionate about his job. He's passionate about saving the public purse. That's the very reason why in most of the cases that we have, major ones, whether it's on international arbitration or case in the court here that are cases that people think that they are high-profile cases, you see him getting involved in such matters. And if I'm not exaggeration. And if I'm not mistaken, if you take from 1992 or 93 to date, if you were to look at the ages that we've had, I can stick my neck out for this AG.
Including his boss, your boss, the president?
Yes, because he was trained by the president. And if you look at the AG, his age at the bar, his actual age, and you look at the outputs, my brother, he's an example that I will encourage every budding lawyer to look up to.
Somebody like Franklin Cudjoe appears not happy. He believes that all this could have been avoided. He says that after the AG's office released a statement explaining that indeed the state has not lost in this arbitration committee, he says, do not let the Attorney General lie to you. He lost and wasted millions on lawyers.
He's entitled to his opinion, which is also false. And you see, sometimes people outside the governmental sector, some people have the impression that they are the repository of knowledge and that whatever they say should be accepted 100%. As public officers, we will never say that we know it all. We do our part. But if you're also outside the governmental setup and you have an issue, at least we must be a bit decorous in how we came about or how we state our issues. You don't have to go to town attacking people. Because I saw the first post that he brought up, as if he was attacking the Attorney General. I don't know what he has done to him. But let me just make this simple announcement that the Attorney General is unfazed.
He's not perturbed at all.
At all. He's been given a mandate. And he needs to discharge that mandate. Despite the attacks, he's out there defending the people of Ghana, saving the people of Ghana millions of, if not billions of cedis and dollars. Locally, we have ample evidence to the fact that the AG has actually protected the public purse from dubious and frivolous judgment debts. He goes out there, he wins cases. Not only this one, someone in the media, you can check from 2021. And you get to know that if someone thinks that the AG should be hanged, I will say with all confidence that the AG doesn't deserve such condemnation from some group of people.
I think such persons are not being fair to the AG.
They've decided to close their mind to whatever the AG does, and it's always as if let's get something to tag him. They may continue to tag him, but the AG is well composed, and since he's working for the people of Ghana, he intends doing so. And that's what he's also doing. As we speak now, he's out of jurisdiction, performing a statutory duty, despite the attacks.
So you think that a caution from Franklin Cudjoe saying that the AG should be advised to mend his ways, if not, he may plunge the state into some judgment debts in the future, does not have any ground?
It's baseless. It's baseless. Talk is cheap. You can talk, but action is very expensive. We believe in action. You may choose to engage in the talk, but a talk without a walk is baseless. AG is performing his duties. He doesn't have the slightest intention to plunge this nation into any judgment debts. The intention that he has is to defend the state against dubious judgment debts.
Finally, on this matter, are there any outstanding arbitration issues that the state currently is working on?
I think there are other matters, but I cannot give you the specific ones. Because if you come to our office daily, we have various kinds of cases, arbitration and other civil suits. But whichever way they come and whichever form they take, we are ready to defend the state.
The AG's office is back in court on a Thursday. Hopefully, Richard Jack will be calling his witness through video conferencing. I bet by now you've been able to go through the entire cross-examination of Richard Jakpa? How prepared is the AG's office going forward?
Very much prepared. We are in this office, we prepare for work just like private lawyers in their private firms. We do not say that because we are paid by the state, whether we win or we lose, we are paid by the state. No. And so we are prepared for every single case, not the Japa case alone. So on Thursday, we'll be in court.
They are bringing in Big C. A lot of people thought that Big C, if the state really believes in its case, ought to have included Big C or an official from Big C as an accused person in this case. How are you approaching Big C?
We reviewed the docket and we came out with a decision to prosecute some people. Big C is about to testify for the third accused person. It's a right of the third accused person to call any witness. It's also a right to cross-examine any witness that the third accused person brings. So let Big C come on Thursday. We'll confront them. We'll be in court.
This case has traveled for quite some time. What are the expectations of the AG? Because in about 3 weeks, the legal year will come to an end. The judicial system will basically go on vacation, come back somewhere in, say, October, September, October. And then elections ahead of us. Do you see an end in sight?
We are in the hands of the court. We cannot determine the timetable for the judge. And so as and when days are given that we should be in court, we'll be in court. And we'll be in court until this matter comes to a final conclusion. So it depends on the court's diary. If the court says that we should come even tomorrow, we'll be there. So we are in the hands of the court.
So the AG's office will not be swayed in any way by the political season coming in, the fact that Atufosin will have to be campaigning. He may need time to campaign. The AG's office is committed to seeing this to the end.
We will not put any feathers in the way of people to seek political office because they are right. But you see, in the same way, the court also cannot be stampeded with political processes.
The Attorney General Alfred Tionyebo speaking there to my colleague Hansen Ajiman. That would be it for Eyewitness News tonight. My name is Umaru Sandamado. Production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London. And the technical support from Daniel Squashi, new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. I did this show tonight with Hajia Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. We're back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Up next, we'll bring you a playback of Face to Face.